In the previous two videos, we looked at both vertical and horizontal flow layouts and saw some interesting techniques that you could do with them. You can also use vertical and horizontal flow layouts together to achieve or even more complex effects. Let's have a look at that. What I might do to start with is assume that I needed to add another set of details for the spouse of the primary applicant. What I might do to do that is duplicate the field, which in this case will duplicate all of the contents of the particular section. I'm going to go into the second detail section and change the name, or the heading rather, to spouse details. And I've now got two section level 2s, one below the other, with all the same details in them. Now I also might want to turn that into a block or other things, but we'll cover that in other videos. However, there is still quite a lot of space going across the page, and I might want to change that treatment again. I might actually want to have the primary details and the spouse details side by side rather than flowing down the page. And to do that, what I can do is I can go into the section 1, which contains both of those, and change its layout manager. Let's go and do that. So I'm going into section 1, which by default, everything in Composer is flow top to bottom. I'm going to change that to flow left to right, and let's see what happens. As you can see, I get my details on the left and I get my spouse details on the right, exactly what I intended. Let's save that and preview it and see exactly what that looks like. Not at all bad. That's pretty close to what I was to exactly what I was looking for. I might want to extend that by adding some vertical lines using margins or sidebars between the two, but that is essentially exactly what I had in mind. Perfect. Another example of using vertical and horizontal layout managers in conjunction with each other might be a slightly different variation of this form. I've set up the form to be a vertical flow, with other being the only field which currently has keep on same line. Now I really want first, middle and last names to all be on the same line, but I want a little more fine-grained control than simply using keep on same line. What I can do is right click on first name and say wrap field in block. This would be very similar to actually adding a brand new block and then adding fields to it, but I can do it after the fact, which makes life a little easier. It'll then ask me which other fields I want to add to the same block and what block name do I want to give it. And there it is. Then what I can do is on name block, which is completely invisible by the way, it's simply there for grouping the fields together. I can double click on name block and change the layout manager from top to bottom to left to right, horizontal. And those three fields now live across the page or lie across the page. And then I can start doing the same things I did before, which is to go out into the layout data and start specifying my percentage widths. The result is a form that's starting to look closer and closer to the exact look I want, but without having to have gone to the extent of explicitly specifying widths in centimeters or inches.